What's up guys? So today in this video I am trying to show how to do a ball taper fade. He usually gets a 7 guard on top against the grain. So you pretty much create the first guideline with no guard and only using your clipper with the lever closed. I usually create my guidelines first on all 3 tapers. The reason why I don't use a trimmer for that is because so it can make my life easier on fading out the ball line. I'm going up a finger width while my lever is open with no guard. Before I use my first guard, I eliminate the first guideline that I created by going down on the lever and usually end up closing the lever to eliminate that guideline. I proceed to use my first guard with my lever closed, going another width of a finger. With the half guard, I pretty much eliminate the guideline that I created with that first guard using the lever closed. Using the 1.5 guard with the lever closed, I go up another finger width. I try to flick off every time I stroke or pause. What I meant to say is I pretty much just flick off according to the client's head. So right now I'm pretty much just creating this shape, because if you don't, the back of his head is only going to be flat with no shape. I proceed to use the number 1 guard with the lever open, taking out the last remaining guideline. So now you just pretty much want to detail all the dark spots that you see. Right now I'm using my 1.5 guard again and just pretty much trying to blend into the fade all the way to the top of the head using that flick off motion. Starting on the side tapers, I create my first guideline with the lever open and slowly start closing it to remove the first guideline. Using my number 1 guard, I go ahead and start with my lever closed and go up a finger width to create my second guideline. With my half guard and my lever closed, I am eliminating my second guideline. With no guard and my lever open, I am just using the corner of my clipper to pretty much eliminate all the dark spots I see that I couldn't eliminate with my half guard. Using my 1.5 guard with my lever closed, I go with the corners to create my third guideline, going up a finger width. The reason I use the corner of my blade instead of the full blade is because it's a small area, and if I use the full blade, it will create this bigger guideline that I don't want. I use my number 1 guard with the lever open to eliminate that third guideline. Pay attention that I always use my comb to brush down the hair so it can make it easier on me to see all the dark spots and make it easier to cut the hair. Right now I'm only detailing any imperfection or any dark spots with the corner of my blade, going back and forth with no guard and with the number 1 guard while the lever is closed. So pretty much this side is the same thing as the last side, the same steps and everything, so just try to follow along. I want to share a scripture today that I read that was pretty cool, if you ask me. starts in Luke 6, verse 39. Can the blind lead the blind? Will they not both fall into the pit? The student is not above the teacher, but everyone who is fully trained will be like their teacher. Jesus told this parable to his disciples. What can we understand from this parable? A man that doesn't have knowledge of the word or anything and tries to lead another person, they both will fail in what they are trying to accomplish. Because at the end of the day, the student will only follow the same direction the teacher is trying to teach. So if the teacher is short in knowledge, the student will also be short in knowledge. Be careful in who you listen to, because you don't know who is leading you in the wrong or right way. Instead, gain some knowledge so you can comprehend who is actually the correct person that is leading you in the correct path. I usually just line everything up towards the end once every taper is complete. So right now I'm looking at both sides just to see everything is symmetrical, so I can do the hook very symmetrical. You don't want one hook higher than the other, so that's why you want to see the visual, to see both sides before lining up anything. Whenever you're lining up the back taper, please don't push your client. Keep the natural line going. It looks way better and it lasts way longer. People tend to push it back just so it can be way sharper and darker, but it tends to not last long. Do you see how I guide myself with my fingers? This technique helps me have the best symmetric lineup in the city. I go ahead and start doing my corners. I use a trimmer first to do my outline of the beard before using my blade. Once again, please don't push your client's taper. Keep it natural. Stop trying to make it skinny and dark just for the pictures. Keep it natural so it can last longer. Your clients will thank you. So whenever it comes to the hairline, please clean everything off. Right now, I'm going to use paper towel and alcohol to get all that oil off my client's forehead. Just so it can make it easier. It helps the trimmer and it makes it look way sharper. Do you see all the oil that I cleaned off of him? Now we have a clean surface to do our lineup. I tend to start right in the middle, moving left to right or right to left. Doesn't really matter. The thing I do advise is to be face to face, just so you can be in the best angle ever.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing weird by that, just a good angle. I also tend to use the mirror to my advantage to help me have the best lineup ever. It helps me see if I need to do any more touch up on the lineup. I usually use the shaver towards the end just so it can help me fade into the taper that I made. I usually do a flick off motion. Whenever it comes to the mustache, I tend to turn my clipper around with no guard and the lever closed to trim it to their desired length. Whenever it comes to lining up the mustache, I tend to just follow the line that the lips have. Makes it way easier, looks natural. Whenever it comes to lining up or boxing the goatee up, be careful because one wrong move and you will have to take everything off. So slow and steady wins the race. With my 1.5 guard, I usually just go with the grain, and I just want to take any frizz off. Right now I'm just trying to fade that dark spot in so it won't be very visible. Whenever it comes to lining up the bottom of the beard, I recommend, if you have a headrest, to tell your client to recline so you can have that angle and you won't be breaking your back. With the shaver, I go around the mustache and goatee and completely bald everything out. I use shave gel to prep the skin for my straight razor. I pull the skin towards the opposite side where I'm cutting so it can make the blade easier to slide through the skin and won't damage any of my client's skin. If you're a barber and you don't do eyebrows, you're tripping. It's easy and it's another service that can add you more money to your wallets. Chat, this is the end result. Y'all already know my guy is filling it with this smirk. Guys, let me know how I did. Do y'all approve or disapprove? If y'all enjoyed, leave a like. Thank y'all so much for sticking all the way to the end. If y'all still here, God bless.